Hey everybody, come on in. This is the Daily Bern. We do this every day at 7. What this is the war room of the political revolution. We'll start in just a minute. I give you a little time to get in, get settled, like and share. Real important to slam the like button and the share button. Get this out. This is just a little independent show, and we depend on you to help get this out. I shared it all I can without going into Facebook jail. I did my part. So please share and comment. Take part in the show. This is a live show, and I love hearing from you, and I love it when you take part in the show. I do have what I call a burn planned, and that's what we usually do, but I want to hear from you. So if you're here, especially if you're here for the first time, and you're just discovering the Daily Bern, let us know. Say hi. Let us know you're here. But what this is a motivational show for all of us that are fighting in this political revolution. All of us that are doing all we can to move this forward and make this change happen, to make this a reality. This show is for all of us who understand that this is our fight and we must be the ones that make this happen. So if that's you, you have found your show. Come on in. This is the Daily Bern. And I thought I needed to talk to you guys today. I feel like we need to talk. There's something I know I want to get off my chest and make clear. And the theme of this talk is that this keeps going no matter what. Now, we may be in for an emotional shock. I hope not. But I have been prepared for it since the beginning, and it'll still rock me to my core. Now, Bernie is going to be making some decisions, and we may not like those decisions. But no matter what he decides, this fight, our fight, keeps going. We do not stop. And I'll be damned if I see this momentum stopped and this uprising ceased for any reason. Do not despair, no matter what happens. Stay united, no matter what happens. We are winning. Now, this has always been our fight. And if it comes down to it leaving the political arena and moving to direct action, then that's where we go. We do not stop. If, this is an if, because I don't believe this will happen. And I don't believe it because it doesn't make any sense. And we'll get into more reasons why I say that later on. But if Bernie decides to drop out, we do not stop. It will hurt, but it is not the end. Our job in this fight and our mission does not change. Our political strategy might, but in my opinion, it would need to change to one of destruction and continued infiltration. The Democratic Party must be destroyed, as it is an enemy of democracy. That is a fact. That is not an opinion. It's a damn fact, and we do not stop. We destroy them. We keep moving forward. We keep waking as many people as we can, and we keep moving society towards progress. This little talk was just to say that no matter what Bernie Sanders may decide to do, our job does not change or stop. If anything, it intensifies. This is our time, and this is all or nothing. Guys, I really believe that this is our last stand, and I honestly believe that Bernie Sanders knows that and could not, integrity be damned, make the decision to abandon us, to spend his last fight of his life backing another loser establishment shill. If Bernie's life and legacy matters to him at all, and if he truly wants to lead this revolution forward, he will announce that because of the rigging, suppression, and fraud, he is abandoning his contract with the DNC and running third party. I don't say that because it's what I want. I say that because it's all that makes any sense. And Bernie must see that. Joe Biden will lose, even with Bernie's help. Bernie must see that. Bernie isn't a fool. And I don't think, contract or no, that he fought his whole life to get his movement to a point of victory, to lay down and quit, or to support a losing strategy. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And the other reason it wouldn't make any sense for Bernie to do that would be the ultimate betrayal. In fact, at this point, to not acknowledge the rigging and fraud and to not make this final stand with us, knowing Trump would still win, would betray everything he himself has stood for his entire life and everything that we represent. It just makes no sense. I'm seeing it all over the place. Bernie's going to drop out. There was a CNN reporter that made the mistake of asking him that question today. Look up what his response was. He dropped the F-bomb. Bernie's not playing around. Bernie's acting like the president. He already played the long game. He already conceded his beliefs once to get another shot. It makes literally no sense for him to do it again. But again, Bernie Sanders will do what he does. And no matter what that is, we hold the damn line. We do not stop. And we do not quit. And we damn sure don't fall in line. We finish them off. Their system is dying. Their hold over us is slipping. And we must finish it off. Not Bernie, us. That's something I've been saying every episode. Every show, I say that. Bernie says it 15, 16, 17 times a speech. Anytime they start chanting his name, he reminds you, it's not him, it's us. This is about us. This is our fight. Owning that and taking that responsibility to heart is what's going to make this happen. This change. Look at all we've done without even winning. We didn't win in 2016, but we changed the entire damn narrative. We changed everything that's being talked about. Hey, Millicent. Hey, Jack. Hey, Steve. Jack, Bernie should run as an independent. I fully believe that. And I really think that's the only path forward. I don't see him making any other choice. There's no other choice to make. It would make no sense for Bernie to abandon the revolution at this point and back Joe Biden, because Joe Biden not only would lose, that's guaranteed, and is a fundamentally flawed candidate, he's mentally unfit for the job. It makes literally no sense for Bernie Sanders to abandon his morals to stand with the Democratic Party based on integrity and a contract. They've lost their mind. They've shown themselves to be incompetent. It's time to part ways. Now, what he does will be up to him. But this cannot stop. This must move forward. This has to continue. Millicent says, write Bernie and tell him how you feel. Millicent's putting together a writing campaign to Bernie Sanders for us to show our feelings about how this must move forward and this must continue. And we must win this fight. This has to happen. And this would be the worst possible thing to do. And it would make literally no sense. I've already beat a dead horse explaining that why I believe it makes no sense. But right, Bernie, like Millicent's saying, he listens to his supporters. Bernie does listen to what we have to say. Write him and tell him how you feel. But know that no matter what, this fight moves forward. Hey, Alex. Alex says Trump 2020. Man, if the Democrats get their way, you have nothing to worry about, brother. But if we get our way, Bernie will run third party, which is the only way to defeat Donald Trump. The establishment Democrats would love nothing more than to give Donald Trump 4 more years. They lose nothing under Donald Trump. Anyone that supports Donald Trump and doesn't see that the establishment does as well is blind and willfully ignorant. They're turning a blind eye to the fact that the media gives Trump unlimited free media coverage. There's no such thing as bad publicity. It doesn't exist. They're pushing that man. They're running his election campaign. They're doing nothing to stop him. And maybe there's a chance that you're a Trump supporter that's involved in Operation Chaos. I'm sure people are aware. I've been talking about it on here. But there is an Operation Chaos on the right to get Biden nominated, because they think it's going to be hilarious to watch Biden run against Trump. Because we all know that Biden is not mentally fit. Not that he could have won anyway. He has the same politics and works for the same masters as Hillary Clinton. He's fundamentally flawed. We cannot support him. I will actively work against him. You think Russia was bad? Wait till you see this. We have to tear down the Democratic Party. Alex asks, what's wrong with Trump? Well, we could spend a little time on that, and maybe we should, because quite honestly, I'd rather talk to a Trump supporter than a vote blue no matter who Democrat at this point. I would rather reach across the aisle to, someone that's at least awake to the fact that the news media is complete garbage and weaponized propaganda, is awake to certain things. These vote blue no matter who people are willfully ignorant with their heads buried in the sand. They're dangerous and they're holding back society. They're not to be listened to. They're not to be reasoned with. They're to be ignored. I don't usually like to create an echo chamber, but I have decided to eliminate that particular group from my existence. Anytime I see it, I don't comment. I move immediately to unfriend. I don't need you in my life if at this point you are so willfully ignorant you cannot see what's happening around you, and that the Democratic Party is a corporation and does not care about you and is actively working to undermine democracy. If you're choosing to ignore all of that, I have nothing to say to you. You can't be reasoned with. There's got to be enough people that can be reasoned with, can be informed, aren't so willfully ignorant that they won't move things forward. Do you know that over 50% of people can't even be bothered to vote? Let's focus on them. I'm done wasting my time on people who are very content and comfortable in the slave system. I'm done with that. I can't focus on them anymore. Hey Heath, hey Dion, good to see you guys. But what I'm saying is we move forward, and I'm going to reach across to Trump people and people like that. Matter of fact, I'm going on a feed. I don't know when yet. We haven't nailed down a date. But with a friend of mine who is a fervent Trump supporter, goes to the rallies all the time, deeply involved in Trump, has a good following, because I want to speak to the other side. And you had asked what's wrong with Trump. If you're still here, I'll try and attempt to answer that question. Trump represents the establishment. I don't know if you are among the ones that think he's fighting against the deep state and the establishment, but he represents the powers that be. He wasn't their choice, but he was their plan B. Trump is controlled opposition. Trump is standing in the way of progress. Nothing he has done has benefited anybody but the upper 1%. They've cashed in big on Donald Trump. The establishment has lost nothing on Donald Trump, and the working people have gained nothing under Donald Trump. He lied to the people. He promised everything to get elected, continues to promise anything, doesn't back any of it up. His actions show that he is in his own best interest and his wealthy friends. That's what's wrong with Trump. Zachary says, too many lobbyists, Goldman Sachs execs running our treasury. Our country is bought off. One entire wing of our two-party system is an outright, in the open corporation. This is a problem. It needs to be a problem for everybody. That's the other reason why I want to reach across the aisle to Trump supporters and to people that are on the right, because everyone needs to care that democracy is being undermined. You're having exit polling that's 13% and higher off, always in one direction. You saw the same thing in 2016. We're allowing an election to be rigged in this country, and it can't be allowed. This cannot be allowed to continue. Everyone needs to care. This needs to matter to everybody. Because you may not think it's happening to you, but it is happening to you. It's theater. Trump is not your friend. See, my cat even thinks Trump is big, big problem. You hear that? She's never done that. I got her all riled up. But that was the main message I wanted to get across tonight, that we continue forward no matter what. This fight keeps moving forward. This must happen. This must succeed. This is our time, and we will not get a better opportunity. So we keep moving forward, no matter what. No matter what happens. And take part in Millicent's campaign. Write to Bernie. Email Bernie. Let him know what you think, what you want, what we need to see happen. Because, for me, if Bernie is to do that, and I don't think he is, I don't believe it, but if he is, at that point we do go our separate ways. And I won't be angry with him. I understand. He has a lifetime of integrity. He's always done what he says he's going to do. But he's got to see the writing on the wall. We all see the writing on the wall. So he has to see it. And it makes no logical sense. So, yeah, Jack, she is pissed. I've never heard her make those sounds. That was crazy. But this is the Daily Bern, and we do this every day at 7. We gather here at our Revolution War Room, and we will continue forward. No matter what, because this fight continues forward. We have more to do. We tear down the Democratic Party, that's one thing. We infiltrate it, build it back up from the inside. But from the top, we tear it down. And if Joe Biden is the nominee, I don't know where you stand, but I actively work against him. That Russia stuff, what we pulled off in 2016, what they blamed on Russia, that's going to look like child's play. This is war. Jack says, I thought it was one of your kids. No, that was the cat. And I've never heard her make that sound. I got her riled up. He says, is there any movement in the Bernie camp showing that he may start a third party? Not from Bernie himself. There has been language said by surrogates like Nina or Killer Mike. Certain people have given the impression that everyone understands that this is our final stand. Nina has said over and over again that this isn't 2016 and the same thing will not happen again. So Bernie has not said it. But when asked about it at the debate, I felt that he telegraphed that he does not feel that backing Biden is the right way to go. He gave the right answer at the debate, but you could see the reluctance in him. And he's not a very good liar. And anytime he attempts it, I think it shows. And I think he was saying what he knew he was supposed to say, not what he really believes. He doesn't believe we'll support Biden. He didn't believe we would support Clinton. He did it anyway. And it turned out wrong. That's what I mean. You can't do the same thing twice. It would make no sense for him to do it. Even if Joe Biden was just the fundamentally flawed candidate that he is, but he has so many more problems than that. We understand this. The man has a problem with his diminishing mental capacity. This is a problem. This is a big problem. It needs to matter to everybody. Everyone needs to care about what's happening here. And if you're into Operation Chaos and you think it's funny, it's not. This is not funny. This is the kind of thing we intervene in other countries and send our soldiers to die over. A rigged election. This is serious. This is the core of our democracy. If your vote doesn't matter, what does? So, if there's a fight that you should care about or be concerned about, this is it. And I see no way for Bernie to do anything other than take this final stand with us. I see no other path forward to victory. If he's really concerned about beating Trump, the only way is third party. Biden can't win. We understand that. No matter how hard he helped him, no matter how much he tried, he could never push Biden past Trump. Biden's going to get torn to shreds by Trump. We all know this. So it makes no sense for Bernie to back Biden. I don't see it happening. I really don't. But if it does, we move forward without him. We stay united. We hold the line. This does not stop. Our job doesn't even change. Everything keeps moving forward. He's 78 years old. I can't hate the man no matter what he does here. We all know what the right thing to do is. But again, he's done so much for us. I'm not mad at him. And I'm personally predicting, especially based on his answer to the CNN guy. I wish I had it in front of me, but he dropped the F word. I'm trying to handle a fucking global epidemic is what I believe he said to him. He is acting like the president of the United States. He understands. He's not acting like a man about to drop out. He's not acting like a man about to quit. And he's definitely not acting like a man about to sit down. So I don't know where all this fear is coming from, but everybody needs to pick themselves up. Stop despairing. There's a huge amount of fear propaganda being thrown at the average person right now. And they held a damn primary in the middle of it. In Arizona alone, they shut down over 115 polling stations at my last count. And I'm sure it was more because I had to look away from this. I had to turn away from it. I wasn't even going to pay attention to the results. You're holding a primary when people are afraid to leave their house and gather in large groups? How much more voter suppression could there possibly be? How much more rigging could there possibly be? Anyone failing to see what's really going on at this point is turning a blind eye by choice, and I can't tolerate it anymore. You're actively working against progress and working against democracy. If you care about that, this needs to matter. It's not funny. It's not a joke. And you know, a lot of me knows that this Operation Chaos is not about doing this because of how funny it's going to be. It's about doing it because Bernie would have absolutely trounced Trump, and Bernie still can if he runs third party. He would win. I guarantee it. It's the path to victory. It's the only path to victory at this point. What he should do, this is my advice, my 2 cents. Anybody wants to forward this to Bernie, feel free. What he needs to do is break off with the Democratic Party right now. Fully expose the fraud, rigging, manipulation. Join up with Tulsi. Join her into his campaign. Announce her as his VP. Start his own third-party ticket. If it's too late to start his own third-party ticket, accept the invitation from the Greens to take the top of theirs. Whichever he has to do. Preferably, I would say start your own party. But I don't know if it's too late for that. Whatever has to happen, that's what needs to happen. That is a clear path to victory. They would win. The media is becoming irrelevant. Most people don't trust the media. We are the damn media. We could make this happen. That is what he needs to do. It's the only way forward. It's the only way to beat Trump. Bernie knows, and you could see it in his eyes, that running Joe Biden is a guarantee of 4 more years of Donald Trump. He gave him every opportunity to try and tell the truth, to come around, to try and be honest. He refused. He's a liar. He's a shill. He's bought off. He's a fundamentally flawed candidate. But he's also got serious mental problems. There's hundreds of examples of it. And ignoring it is willful ignorance. Jacob says Bernie will not beat Trump even if he gets there. He would easily beat Trump. Trump supporters heavily overestimate how much support they really have. You won because the Democrats rigged their primary. You didn't win because Trump has a whole lot of support. Trump and Hillary were actually both two of the most historically disliked candidates ever running in an election. And voter turnout was very low. So your support base isn't as big as you think it is. The reason why Trump won is because half of the Democratic Party broke off and worked actively against it. So Bernie would easily win. Kathy says Bernie or vest. That's exactly where this is and exactly where we are. This moves forward. This keeps going. This fight is the only real fight happening. Everyone else is submitting to the establishment and the powers that be, whether they're doing so by not voting at all, not participating, for blindly believing in a con man that's playing them for a fool, or by voting blue no matter who and supporting an establishment that continues to screw over every man, woman, and child they claim to represent. We can't allow any of those things to continue. So if you're in any of those categories, you're an enemy to progress and to moving forward. And you're ignoring the fact that there is a real fight going on. You could be a part of it, and you're turning a blind eye to it. Kathy says, Sean, you are the world. Do not stop. I can't stop. Won't stop. No, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be hurtful. Or if the Trump supporters are still here, I never want to run you off. We're both fighting. I just think that you're being severely misled. And I think there's a great deal of evidence to support that. You know, I believe that a lot of Trump supporters, and I know it for a fact because I'm friends with a lot of Trump supporters, are actually very good people with good intentions. And some of them deeply support Trump. Matter of fact, the person I'm going to go on with in a few days or whenever we line it up, he deeply supports Donald Trump. He's a great guy. I don't suffer from TDS or Trump derangement syndrome. What I'm saying is based on fact. In the Democratic establishment, the powers that be and the entire media are not against Donald Trump. They are running his election campaign for him, giving him tons of free publicity, and he is a very useful tool to them. And if you don't see that, I would love to help you see it. Because being played, and it hurts me. It makes me sad. Because, like I said, a lot of them are very good people being heavily misled. The only real fight that's happening, the only real fight that anyone's doing anything to stop is this movement and this revolution. Anything that we disagree on, little things, can be bickered about later after we take down the powers that be, that lord over humanity and are keeping us down and keeping us from having the things that we deserve. And if you've been convinced that you don't really deserve these things, then I would love to help you understand that you do. And things like healthcare is a human right. And it is something that is guaranteed to people all over the world successfully. It is the right thing to do. And as far as paying people a living wage, I know a lot of people are against that. How do you support a capitalist society when people don't have any money to buy anything? It just doesn't work that way. It's not realistic. Everything has went up in the last 20 years dramatically except pay. So how do you support that? How does that system stand? I know the American dream is everybody, pulls themselves up from their bootstraps and becomes a multimillionaire, becomes successful. Well, how the hell do you become successful? How do you sell any products if no one can buy them? You can't sustain a capitalist society driven by greed. This greed-driven system is unsustainable. Cannot continue forward, is doomed to fail, is designed to fail. Our economy is designed to crumble. It's based on debt. It's not based on anything real. It's based on debt that can never be repaid. And it will eventually collapse. Jacob says, I think you need to run for president. Dude, if I felt like I could get the support or the money to do so, that would be great. I would love to. But unfortunately, in this country, it is extremely expensive to run for president. See, sometimes I want to go further than I allow myself to go on this particular show. At 8, we're doing Conspiracy Theories and Chill, and that is my other show, and I would go a little further with it. On this one, I don't know why I do it, but I hold myself back sometimes from what's really going on and the real truth of it. Because, like I said earlier in the monologue, I knew this was coming. This moment would happen, where we would meet and be at this crossroads. I knew this was a possibility. We have said over and over and over and over again on this show that they will do everything to stop us, literally everything. There are billions of dollars at stake. An entire system that has took hundreds of years to perfect and put in place is at stake. Everything for them is at stake. Because this is a real threat to the powers that be and the establishment. Because this is about the people rising up. And I just hope that everyone understands that and keeps that focus and determination to move forward and make this happen. Because we brought all this stuff to the table. We brought all this stuff to the discussion. And a mass awakening is happening. People are rising up, and they're doing all they can to stop that. But like I said, we have the other show in 25 minutes, so I'm going to have to wrap up the Daily Bern and get ready for Conspiracy Theories and Chill. If you like conspiracies, and tonight's theme is going to be about what I really think is going on. I'm finally going to pull back the curtain and be the left-leaning Alex Jones. I've been holding back for so long. So I'm finally going to do my best at attempt to explain what I think is really going on. That's what the theme's going to be on Conspiracy Theories and Chill tonight. So come back for that on my timeline. Sean Yankee, just look it up. I'm the guy with the pretty blue face, look like a Smurf. And come to that and check it out. It's at 8 o'clock Central here in 24 minutes. But this has been the Daily Bern, and we do this every day at 7. This is the war room of the political revolution. And like I said, we will continue forward. Alex says, what's my opinion on Hillary? One of the most evil people walking the planet. One of the most evil people walking the planet. Yeah, that's my opinion on Hillary. Alex says he'd vote for me. Well, let's get me on some ballots. Let's make this happen. Can we get me on the ballot for 2020? I would run. Anything's better than what's being offered up. Matter of fact, Trump is better than what's being offered up. Joe Biden is not the way to go and is an enemy of the people and an enemy of progress, with or without his mental problems. It can't happen. I would have actively worked to stop him regardless of the health problems. But when you put that on top of it, That man cannot be president of this country. I I wanted to write in Bernie Sanders, but I feel like they're going to make my last vote be against Joe Biden. And the only way to directly vote against him would be to cast a vote for Donald Trump. So you may actually have kind of converted me in a way. Because my main goal, if this ceases to be a political fight, if I see no way forward politically, will be to take down the Democratic establishment. That's got to go. You cannot have a corporation running half of democracy in this country and call it democracy. Call it what it is. It's theater. It's a completely rigged system. And we're coming to tear it down. Not Bernie. Us. This is our fight, guys. And there may be an announcement tomorrow or the day after. No matter what it is, do not despair. Do not give up. Do not quit. Stay united. Hold the line. We move forward. This must happen, and it will happen because it must. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode of the Daily Bern. Come back for the Conspiracy Theory show. I think you guys would dig it. It's a fun show. You don't have to believe everything we get into. That's kind of the purpose. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7.